Part 2, and he takes on the role of young Wonka as an origin story. Back when Willy Wonka was a chocolatier and just now, kind of coming into his own. And I gotta say, I kind of went into the film, a curmudgeon. I was like, yeah, this thing, I'm not gonna like this. It's not gonna be
the
good.
Second one, you're like, whatever.
Yeah, it's not. I'll tell you right off the bat, it is not a colossal disaster like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory from 2005 with Johnny Depp and Tim Burton. That was awful. This is much better than that. And while initially it wasn't grabbing me, I think it has a really good second act with a lot of funny jokes. I was laughing out loud, and eventually my crabbiness kind of dissipated, and I was enjoying myself. However, that first song hits you right away and lets you know this is a musical, okay? You're going to get multiple, music sequences, and honestly, the songs are, at least the first song, is not very good, so I was like, not the best way to open it. Some of the songs get a little better, but none of them reach the level of the original. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, 1971, still can't be topped. This one is not better. It's not close, but it was a celebration, and I think that this one, paid homage to that one in several musical cues, and obviously using a lot of the elements from that film in this film in respectful ways and ways where it felt genuine, and ultimately I actually liked Wonka by the end. It kind of won me over, and this is clearly a different Wonka than Gene Wilder. There's the darkness is kind of gone.
Yeah,
and that's
I
what
wonder
I was
what
missing.
happened.
What happened in between? I was like, is this little girl that he's with, this orphan, gonna die? Like, that would make sense, or something, to make him dark or something. Because in this film, he's kind of tied to this the orphan character, and kind of a storyline where they kind of fight for their freedom and fight to make good chocolate and battle Slugworth and the other
Chocolate Cartel.
The Chocolate Cartel. So, what did you guys say? Alex, how do you like the film? What do you think?
It was better than I thought. I saw the trailers and was like, look, it doesn't need to exist. I don't trust people to make it. And so that being said, it is better, but there's some problems here. I think that this is totally uneven. There are times where it's really touching and it's really sweet, and there's these moments it's like, wow, this is really good, and it just bounces right into a section where Willy Wonka is beyond like cartoon character, and I know he's supposed to be childlike and he's supposed to be a little bit wacky, but it's almost a parody that goes so far beyond what it is that it lessens the impact of some of these really touching emotional moments that they end really strongly with on the film. But there are times where it just doesn't always work out. I love musicals. I think the music from the original 1971 one is just absolutely incredible. They definitely are emotionally manipulative here, where they're like our movie, we're going to play all this stuff, the hits from our old movie to make you, get you into the mood. I think some of their songs worked. I would say that the majority of them are average at best.
Nobody's going to be singing those songs.
Yeah.
Oompa Loompa, I sung a lot. A bunch of these other songs from the original, I sung a lot. These, nobody's going to be singing.
Yeah, so I think that this, especially for a family movie, I mean, we've seen some real garbage fires in the last couple months. This is not amongst them. No. So I think that, they did much better than I thought they were going to do.
Yeah,
so I give them props for it.
Joe?
I enjoyed this movie. My first thought was like, why do we cast Timothy? I honestly wanted Jeremy Allen White. Jeremy Allen White would have been better.
Yes, I don't know Jeremy Allen White. Can you tell me?
Yeah, look it up.
You
need to see his picture.
Yeah,
he was in The Bear, Shameless. But he won me over. I love his charisma. Him playing a naive guy. He was great. Right? He's a young Gene Wilder guy. But yeah, I still liked it. I liked the musical.
Timothy I don't know if Timothy can sing.
Get some auto-tune or something.
Yeah, half of the pop stars today can't sing.
It was a good story. I really enjoyed it. This is why you go out to the movies, to have fun and enjoy this film, and I really liked it. And again, like
I think that you go with Jeremy Allen White if you do the
I know.
darkness, if you do that
the in between. It's
that
like what
in-between,
happened?
right.
But I would have
But-
been him. It would have been perfect.
Right, but they didn't go this path. Instead, let's see here, Warner Brothers. Because I don't know why. It's just like it's not Disney. This is Warner Brothers.
Yes.
They didn't want to go too dark on this.
No,
This
they
is
want
kind
Gary-
of reimagined.
He's so hot right now, and he's in everything, and it's like it puts butts in seats. So
Yeah.
Which it worked. It worked.
It did work. I think that the supporting cast also elevates the film. I think, let's see, Keegan-Michael Key as the chief of police was making me laugh. I enjoyed his character very much. Noodle, Willie's assistant, Kala Lane, she did a great job there, bringing some of the touching moments to the film. He sort of befriends her as he's in kind of this indentured servitude. His good nature is being taken advantage of by our villains in this film all throughout. First set of villains is done wonderfully by, let's see, what's the name of those characters?
Olivia Colman is the Bleacher and
Olivia Colman, Miss Scrubbit.
Scrubbit.
Yeah, Miss Scrubbit and Bleacher Tom Davis. These two do
Tom
a
Davis.
wonderful job. Little funny subplots there. Apparently, well, I guess we'll save that for the spoilers. But so you got a little subplot there with indentured servitude, and then you've got Wonka battling the chocolate cartel, and then the eventual kind of creation of what we know. The film does eventually try to tie in and really tugs on those member berries. But yeah, I'd say my biggest criticism is that it's hard to recapture the magic of that original. The songs are not quite as good. The tone is far more like, happy, kid-friendly kind of thing with sprinkles of darkness, but it's done in comedy, and but I enjoyed it for kind of a throwaway popcorn type of film. Yeah. So,
Well, yeah, because I'm trying to compare his.
I don't think how many songs are in this.
It's
a
quite a
bunch.
Yeah, there's so many, and they're all mostly just forgettable. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm trying to depict his portrayal as Willy Wonka as like completely different from fucking Johnny Depp. I know you haven't seen it, but
I saw enough of that
It's
movie.
so weird.
Johnny Depp, I hated.
Yeah,
so
that's why I'm liking this
dang
more
much.
because obviously the way he did it, like there was some he's
Johnny Depp was a creepy predator. Just
no.
yes, it was just disgusting. I don't know what he's doing, and
Me
I
neither.
didn't get it.
And I like this one
And
way
yeah,
better. the
Timothy
way-
does he dips into a little bit of Gene Wilder, but he brings more of a youthful, wide-eyed, open, learning and just confident in his one ability, and then winning people over like that because he is like
Yeah, he's
pure
like Tim
good.
Burton.
He's like pure.
Yeah, one of the criticisms of Gene Wilder for a long time is like, hey, this Willy Wonka kind of seems like he hates kids.
Yes.
And then so it's like he's supposed to be, be a kid,
This
and
Willy
embodiment of
Wonka
big.
loves people.
Yeah, so this one like
This one
absolutely-
hates people.
Yeah, it's like, oh wow. So
I love that. That's how I like it.
yeah, so they kind of swapped over a little bit, but like I said, I think they went a little silly. Even like that is with me understanding that I don't like that kind of stuff, but even for kids, like you didn't have to go as silly, and I think it would have, the movie would have flowed better together because I mean there's some dark stuff and some like really touching stuff that they try to finish on, and he's like doing zany things in the background. It's like, come on, you have to know when to.
So the
I just
prequel.
chalked it up to it's a musical.
So the prequel has 11 songs in total, and I know 2 of those were for Pure Imagination and then the Oompa Loompa. So you can -2, so you got like 9. And of those 9, I'd probably say I thought 3 were acceptable. The other ones were just like average. Like I was just letting them pass. Do your thing. I know that's what you need.
Yeah.
We can go into what those are as we go into the spoiler section, but I enjoyed the bright visuals, the magic of Willy Wonka's interesting creations in chocolate, and just these ingredients I really enjoyed. Now, do I really buy that this, this supposed poor, penniless man who has no skills in other areas except for making chocolate, makes these concoctions with fucking silk from Constantinople and milk from
He's been all around
Zimbabwe
the
or
world. Yes.
whatever he says. It's fucking impossible.
Hey, look, you gotta buy
whatever.
it.
It's the magic, and I like to say, I wanted to be a magician, and so I like that kind of ties in there. So it goes, yeah, you like magician. It goes back and forth between this fantasy land. You have to accept in this world there's certain things, and that's why I was willing to accept a lot of the other things that occur in this particular world, this fantasy world. I am curious if this does well enough, because if they want to continue films in this particular version, and or if it's like a one and done thing. You never know. If this film, if it makes $1 billion, they're gonna fucking continue it with Timothy as Willy Wonka. But if it doesn't do too well, then maybe it'll just stay as a one-off prequel, and that's fine. And honestly, that's fine. So this one, I would say, is safe to bring the kids to. I think you'd have a good time. I think the kids would have a good time. So this one, I would recommend you go out in theaters. Let's go ahead with final verdicts.
Go ahead, Alex.
I'm struggling between a 6 and a 7 because I think that this is at least an above average film, and I did enjoy quite a bit of it. It's weird because you feel like you're being manipulated when he starts singing Pure Imagination. It's like, how dare you? But but it's there, and it's something that a lot of things do. So I think I will go up to the 7. I think it is a it's a sweet movie. There's some charm to it, and it loses all of its points because I think that this, like other directors, I think have forgot, like they make movies like they don't understand children, where it's like kids can appreciate, and you don't have to dumb everything down for kids.
Yeah.
And I feel like they just went too far with that kind of stuff, and I think that even little kids can watch the original movie.
Are you saying this one went too far to be dumbed down?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that they went extra zany and extra wacky and tried to do some some other things, and then they put things in for the parents there, the stuff, the family element. So, but I think that they did a good job, so I'm going to give it a 7.
Okay, and Joe?
I'm going to go with 7 as well. I enjoy the musical. Some of it, obviously, some of the songs weren't very good. Not enough Oompa Loompa for me, as they are. Come on, but
we have one Oompa Loompa.
Hugh Grant was great.
Hugh Grant. Yeah, but that was
the
it.
British version of an Oompa Loompa.
Quick, it was funny. His little
Distinguished,
backstory.
refined,
Yeah.
well-spoken Oompa Loompa, and it's a variation of an Oompa Loompa we haven't seen before, and I thought it was creative.
No, it was. So I enjoyed it, but again, like some of these songs, I like musicals, but these aren't very memorable songs, except for the ones they kind of cheat on. Good, heartfelt story. Your family's gonna love this. So, 7.
In terms of the directors, the guy that did Paddington wrote and directed. Paddington 2 wrote and directed, which was a joke, the best movie ever, or something. Other films, I forget which one that was. And apparently there's going to be another Paddington in Peru, but Paul King didn't direct. He's not going to direct that one. He only wrote it. But he directed and wrote this one, Wonka. And I thought it was solid. I basically, and I don't like musicals. Like, I kind of avoid musicals. I'm crabby, I'm grumpy, and it did enough that I was like, all right, I'm having a good time. When you make me laugh, and you have that kind of childlike wonder and the fantasy and the magic and the different candies and people just enjoying the candies, and evil people getting their kind of comeuppance, being overwhelmed by the personality of Wonka and goodness in the world. I like it. And it's like Joe says, a good movie to take your family to. So I'm going to go with a 7 out of 10 as well. I think that's solid. And that's high for me for musicals. So while the music itself isn't what held this film up, I think the performances, the comedy, and the writing does well.
So
Okay.
the original number 1. This
Oh,
one number
yeah.
2.
Yeah. Original, we're talking 10 out of 10 for me.
Yeah.
This one, I think, is a 7. I can see people giving it 6. And then
But still number 2 out of those
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
glass.
I literally would give a 2 out of 10, Joe. I want to know your rating on that one.
Below average.
4?
No.
There's no way you would give it a 4, Joe. What redeeming qualities did that have? I want you to tell me one sequence you liked.
It was stupid. No, it was just so stupid.
It was
Everything.
stupid.
Like, I didn't like
What about the
Johnny-
squirrel
you
nuts?
give it?
No.
You don't like the squirrel nuts part?
No.
I saw that in the commercial.
Saw that one, and then the Oompa Loompas.
And all the
rock,
Oompa
rock,
Loompas are
the rock version of whatever they're doing.
There was one chocolate baron that would vomit every time somebody said poor. The
Yes.
poor people. That's what I do when I hear about the songs that are in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory
That fucking-
2005. What would you rate
And
it?
his grandpa. Let's go with 3.
Okay, 3 out of 10.
3 out of
All
10.
right, well, that's